We're going to be doing something called Unlocking Greatness by Charlie Harari. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And hopefully we can, come together and try to talk about it and see what we come up with. There's a whole bunch of different chapters in this, how to experience reality. One of them is how to satisfy our own needs and how to make the ideal real. So we're going to go through a whole bunch of different topics. So let's dive right in. So the first part is called Fake Tests, Old Men and the Power of Belief. So we're going to talk a little bit of science, about our brains a little bit. Really quite incredible. We're discovering so many different groundbreaking things in neuroscience and psychology about how our brain works. One of the most recent breakthroughs is these fields of mind-blowing link between skill perception and performance, meaning if you have the confidence to do something, that'll already elevate your ability to do it itself. The vast majority of us have very little appreciation of how powerful our minds really are. We think about who we are and what we're capable of. We define ourselves by what we're good at, meaning if I'm really good at math, I define myself being I'm good at math, and I keep saying that, or I'm really a people person, or I'm really detail-oriented, I'm very organized. We do not really strive to go outside of those different definitions, meaning I'm already comfortable in being a people person, or I'm really good at math, but we don't really necessarily push past our comfort zone in order to move beyond and really grow as people. We don't really strive to go outside of that little box. We build boxes that we really fit ourselves into, and then we extend that favor over to everyone else around us because we think we know our reality. But of course, what science of course tells us is that we really don't know what we're capable of until we actually start doing it. There's a Harvard professor named Ellen Langer. She ran an experiment where she sought to improve people's vision just by changing their way of thinking. Usually an eye chart has the biggest letters on top. If you think about it, it's like a triangle. You have the big E, and then it goes into the VER. It basically spells out like everyone needs good. I don't know exactly what it is. You can look it up. Basically, the basic one is you put the big letters on top, and then each level, those letters get smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to the bottom where you can barely ever see it. And if you could see it, then power to you all. So what Dr. Langer tried suggesting is that what if we put the tiny letters on top? And we do it like an upside down pyramid, upside down triangle, meaning we start with the little letters and progressively get bigger and bigger. What do you think happened? People were able to see the smaller letters just because they were like, oh, it's at the top of the chart. That in my head thinks that should be the easiest to see. My mind will help me get there. Because as you look down a standard eye chart, your mind anticipates not being able to read the smaller and smaller and smaller letters. But if you know that, okay, I'm going to start here and I'm going to get progressively better, then it's that much easier, she said, to read the actual eye chart. Your mind doesn't have the limiting belief that we think we do when the chart is flipped. You can see more, not everything, obviously, but you can definitely see more. So, of course, how is this anchored in Jewish wisdom? The power of perspective can be found all over the Torah. The 10th commandment of the Big Ten, Sarah Dibro, is a commandment of lo tachmod. You shall not covet. You should not be jealous. We'll read the pasuk itself. Lo tachmod beis re'echa, lo tachmod eishecha re'echa, v'yavdo amar v'shar v'chamer v'chol asher re'echa. Right? Don't covet your neighbor's house, their belongings, the neighbor's wife, the slaves, the donkeys, this and that. Anything that is your neighbor's. That is in Shmuel. That's the number 10. So the Torah actually commands us, don't be jealous of what your friend has, what your neighbor has. However, we cannot really desire anything that our friend obtains. Like, that's such a normal thing to do because, wow, that guy has a beautiful Ferrari. I wish I had that beautiful car. Not all of us can afford it, I guess. I don't know. A medieval commentator, the Ibn Ezra, he was very bothered by this. He asked, how can the Torah regulate our emotions? It's a natural thing to be jealous or to judge someone else based on your own perceptions of them. How is the Torah telling us that, hey, you have to do this? Don't feel this way. How can we control something that makes us feel jealous or not? That's his question. That's Ibn Ezra's question. He answers through a parable, a great mashal, a great story. I'm a big fan. You should know that a villager who thinks correctly and sees that the king's daughter is beautiful will not cover her in her heart, that he should sleep with her, that knows that it's impossible. And this villager will not think like this is one of the lunatics that desire he should have wings to fly in the sky, when it's not possible. So must every enlightened person know that a person or money is not attained by a person because of his wisdom or knowledge, rather it is from which God apportioned to him. Because of this, the enlightened one will not desire and not be jealous. And once he knows that God forbade him the wife of his friend, or the donkey, or the ox, it is removed in his eyes, as if the daughter of the king in his eyes of the villager. Therefore, he will rejoice in his portion, and he won't place in his heart to desire something that is not his. Meaning we have to have that belief that this is what God intended for us. Meaning, if God told me that I'm not going to get that huge car, that big house, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm good with what I have. I trust in God's going to give me what I need. Wonderful. However, if it's not possible, then obviously, like, of course I can't fly, right? But if it's something that, oh, maybe there's this new thing that I'm going to make wings and this and that, okay, I'm going to try to get to it and that my friend can do it, fine. But if I know myself that I am not deserving or I am not portioned in the big stars above to get certain things, that it'll be that much easier for me to live my life and not be jealous with people. So the Ibn Ezra explains that this perspective is much more than we actually realize, right? If we view the world through the lens of God's control, that we've been given everything we need, it'll be so much easier to just control our jealousy and feelings of inferiority. We can manipulate our brains, sort of, hopefully, by choosing to think differently. It's really act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic. That's what Dale Carnegie once said. If you turn that switch in your head saying, you know what, God apportioned me a certain thing, I'm going to be happy with whatever that is, life will be so much easier. With the right mental framing, then we have the ability to accomplish incredible things. So obviously, how does this go on to real life? How do we actually apply it? You know, we often go through life trying to ascertain certain wealth, certain things that are beyond our control. A person say, I was born lazy, right? I'm just a lazy person. I don't like getting off my couch. I'm a lazy guy. Or I'm not a good student. I'm really terrible at history class. Or I can't learn a new language. I just don't have it within me. We could have very good reasons for thinking these thoughts. Maybe we are constantly running late. Maybe we're always doing poorly on tests. But at a certain point, it's important to realize that the trick to achieving something seems impossible, but we have to convince ourselves that it could be possible. Maybe we have to switch our way of studying. Maybe we have to get a better job. Maybe we have to work hard. Maybe we just have to lower our expectations to get the biggest, fanciest boat, but like, okay. But in the eye test, if we convince our heads that we're able to go down that triangle and see all of the different letters, but starting from the smallest and getting bigger, it's so much easier. And if we make that switch in our heads, then Dr. Langer said that the vision improved. And she has I haven't looked it up, but I can definitely look it up real soon. We need to try to really identify the mental, I'm trying to think of a word, impediments, obstacles that may be stopping our way of thinking and trying to achieve anything that we can. I don't know if we can get everything, obviously, but there are definitely certain things that where, hey, we can try to this, or we can do better at this. And if you actually really try it, you try to put in that switch saying, hey, I can do it, wonderful. That's just part of the process. You know, there's always examples that you thought you couldn't do, but then you could do. You know, the classic thing where someone, you know, it's Rocky Balboa, you know, can't do it. He's working out like crazy. He has the whole montage, wonderful. And eventually he wins all 4 movies, except I don't know if he won the second one or the third. I don't know which one it was. He won most of them. Great. And then, you know, try to choose something, that one skill that you can work on to try to just make that switch in your head. Try to make that possible by trying to get over your own little obstacles. My favorite quote ever probably is right next to my bed at my parents' house. The difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is how you use them. I thought for me growing up, that was the huge like incredible insight for me. And I'm like, you know what, that's really cool. I don't know where I found it exactly, but I printed it out. I hung it up, put some tape on it by the bed. It was awesome. I'm pretty sure it's still there, unless my parents, of course, turned my room into an office, whatever. So it's just a matter of shifting our mindset into trying to achieve something that we don't think is necessarily possible, but trying to get to the certain point. That is my time for right now. I appreciate everyone on here. We will see you all soon. Have an incredible day. Stay safe and try to keep busy.